Liam was 34, an unremarkable worker at the local factory. His earnings weren't quite what his wife Isabel desired, yet they sufficed for their modest provincial life. Isabel had a taste for luxury, and Liam, deeply in love, often indulged her whims. She was a stunning woman, 3 years younger than him, with curly dark hair and striking brown eyes. The couple had no children. Isabel's gaze turned icy as she glanced at her husband again. "Why so little?" she demanded. Liam shrugged. "Isabel, I don't control the numbers." She rolled her eyes and returned to the stove. Every payday, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that Isabel's disdain for him grew sharper. He sat down at the table and asked her about her day. Isabel mumbled something indistinct, which Liam thought sounded like "better than yours." After putting 2 steaming plates on the table, Isabel handed Liam a bottle of wine and asked him to open it. "Braden," Isabel began, taking a sip, "earned 100 this month. But I don't want to rob the production as if it has no experience." Braden was a constant irritant to Liam. Isabel never missed an opportunity to mention him. She admired everything about him: his job, his salary, his car. Sometimes Liam wondered if she preferred Braden to her own husband. "Why the long face? It's disgusting to eat with someone like you," she snapped, pushing her plate away and storming into the other room. Liam sighed, continuing his meal in silence. Despite Isabel's sharp tongue, he loved her dearly. The day after work, Liam swung by a flower shop to pick up a small bouquet for Isabel, a gesture of his love. When he arrived home, he overheard Isabel on the phone. "Yes, I'll see you later." "Oh, Liam just walked in." "Bye-bye." She quickly hung up as Liam walked in. He handed her the bouquet and kissed her cheek. Isabel smiled, inhaling the sweet fragrance of the flowers, then winked at him playfully before heading to the kitchen for a vase. She seemed pleased with him today. That evening, they watched a movie on TV, cuddling like young lovers, and fell asleep in each other's arms with the TV still on. A week later, the scene was repeated. Liam came home and found Isabel in a disgusting mood, dissatisfied with everything. The way he sat, how he read the news on the phone, how he drank tea. She started her usual tirade about Braden, Molly's husband, but then abruptly stopped. "Well, why don't you introduce us already?" Liam said defiantly. "I want to meet the man you keep comparing me to." Isabel said nothing, pretending she hadn't heard him over the sound of running water as she washed the dishes. But Liam knew she heard him loud and clear. Years of marriage had taught him her sensitivity. At breakfast, he brought it up again. Isabel promised to invite Braden and Molly over for the weekend. On Saturday, the day of the invitation, Isabel was more nervous than usual. She dusted the bookshelves for the 4th time and checked her makeup in the mirror at least 100 times. She wore a short red dress that Liam hadn't seen her wear for guests before. She looked stunning, and Liam couldn't help but notice, along with every other man who saw her on the street. His eyes drifted to the vase with the now wilted bouquet from 2 weeks ago. "I should buy Isabel more flowers," he thought. At the appointed time, the doorbell rang in the apartment. Isabel jumped up, took one last look at herself in the mirror, and went to open the door. "The guests have come," she shouted. "Liam, meet Braden." "And you've already met Molly," she laughed. Liam shook Braden's hand and greeted Molly with a light kiss on the cheek. He had known Molly as long as Isabel, since both women were classmates. "Well, finally," Liam grinned, "now I can get to know the famous Braden, whom I've heard so much about." Isabel's cheeks turned red, and she quickly muttered an invitation to everyone to join her at the table, rushing into the kitchen. The evening went smoothly. They were finishing their 3rd bottle of wine. Everyone was tipsy, relaxed, and cheerful. Liam couldn't help but notice his wife's nervousness. She was sitting next to Braden, giggling stupidly and constantly touching her hair. Later, After seeing the guests off, Isabel went suspiciously quietly to the kitchen to start cleaning. A month later, Liam had a rare early day off. Excited to surprise Isabel, he drove home, stopping by the store to buy her favorite flowers, yellow tulips. He selected an especially large bouquet this time. Yellow tulips symbolize separation. The florist remarked with a smile as she wrapped the bouquet. "I don't believe in superstitions." Liam shrugged, paid, and left the store. As he approached the house, he noticed that only the light in their bedroom window was on. Normally, he rang the intercom and waited for Isabel to let him in. But today he wanted to surprise her, so he used his keys. The apartment door was unlocked. Liam carefully opened it and immediately noticed a pair of men's shoes in the hallway. He recognized them after a moment's thought. Then he heard a muffled groan coming from their bedroom. Stealthily, he approached the door, hearing his wife's moans growing louder. Throwing the door open, he stormed into the room. What he saw stunned him. On their marital bed were Isabel and Braden, the man whom Isabel always praised. "Well, is he better than me here too?" Liam asked bitterly. He grabbed Braden's clothes and threw them out the window, then threw a bouquet of yellow tulips at his wife's feet. So it turns out that the flowers were a sign after all, a sign of parting. Anger and a sense of betrayal welled up in him, and tears welled up in his eyes. Today, their marriage broke up in the most disgusting way possible. Liam eventually divorced Isabel, kicking her out of his apartment, which he later put up for sale because he couldn't live there anymore. Since then, he has seen Isabel only twice. Once at the registry office when they filed for divorce, and once again when they received the final court decision. He knew that nothing had worked out between Isabel and Braden. Molly, upon learning of their affair, forgave Braden, and although their marriage was strained, it survived. Isabel, on the other hand, found another man 6 months later, but her happiness was short-lived. This new partner was also unfaithful and soon began drinking heavily. Liam's life took a turn for the better. He met a wonderful woman who appreciated, loved, and accepted him for who he was. Through his ordeal, Liam learned that the true essence of a good partner isn't just beauty or culinary skills, but the way she treats her man. His new relationship was filled with happiness and mutual respect. They found that when both partners treat each other with respect, everything else in life falls into place.